how are you? That's all I want to say to start off. How are you? Can you go get yourself a cozy drink or find yourself a blanket to wrap up in or a soft spot to sit, and let's just have a conversation and check in with ourselves. Let's be gentle together.
Let's keep calm and mother on. Mothering is way too important to do alone and way too serious to be serious all the time. My name is Christy Thomas, and I am here shoulder to shoulder with you, mothering and enjoying life together. This is the podcast where you can focus on being mindful and taking a deep breath with me and learning new things so you can pause and savor the amazing life you already have.
As you can probably tell from my voice, I am sick. I am sick with that virus that everyone has been trying not to get for the last 2 years. It came home with one of my kids, and now I'm sick. And as of today, I don't have taste or smell, and I'm improving besides those two things. So just throwing it out there. Everyone's got something that they've got in their lives, and you don't know the whole story from social media because I haven't even shared that online, right? You only know that I'm sick if you're in my texting circle, and now all of you know. So that's going on here, and the end of the school year is going on here. Some of our best friends are moving to Hawaii, so there's big feelings about that, even though they're already states away, but that time zone difference is going to be hard. And then there's the national stuff, right? Baby food formula shortages and another school shooting. Yeah, if I could give you a tray of snacks and invite you to just sit down and color with me right now, sit down and knit, just be shoulder to shoulder and know that I've got a mask on and we can just hang out. And so I don't get you sick and we can have companionship holding the heavy things together. But also we need to be gentle with ourselves, excessively kind. Because when we can be excessively kind with ourselves, then we can take the waves, the tsunami-like waves of all this information going on in our world, embrace ourselves for it and take a deep breath and prayer and ground ourselves. And then we can respond to our kids' waves and our spouse's waves with a softer touch. So as we head into this Memorial Day weekend and the official start of summer, according to our calendars, I'm asking you to be gentle with each other, with every single person you meet, and most importantly to yourself. Because if you're not treating yourself and pouring into yourself and allowing yourself to feel or rest or cry if you need to, or reach out to a friend or go on a walk or whatever it means to ground yourself so that you can handle the tsunami of the outside world, you need to do that. I find these practices that I'm about to share with you to be the ones that I go to over and over again as anchoring, right? And they're not new here. As I'm working on making a library of these podcasts, I'm realizing that I've been repetitive, but I think that's okay. That in the repetition is when things become comfortable to us, right? I was doing research and it takes 7 times for a new idea to become less new. I think there are some ideas that I'm going to have to hear my whole life for them to feel like they belong to me and that I can adapt them to my daily life. Getting used to school shootings will hopefully never be something that I fully adapt to. I'm just going to put that out there. There are some things you can't adapt to. The panic of not being able to find food for your child, probably something you can never adapt to. Okay, back to the go-to practices. 1, take pictures of flowers or things that are alive. Whatever it is, noticing nature for me is a go-to. And my grandparents met in a botany class at the University of Michigan. And those are the grandparents that we went walking through the woods with when I was a young kid. And they would point out things. And my grandmother still points out things to me at 95 when we're on the phone if I ask her about things. So just notice nature and realize we're part of something much bigger. Our heads can really get trapped in distorted thinking. And there's different ways distorted thinking shows up. Sometimes it can be making a problem seem too big and catastrophizing. Other times it can be generalizing. And other times a distorted thought can make it feel like we're all alone. But when you look around and look at the crazy chipmunks or the squirrels or the flowers or the giant trees that have been here much longer than my house, you know that you're not alone. So take those pictures, share them with people. Make a text thread of people who text flowers to each other. I'm down for that. One of the other strategies I use is to make sure that I am hugging my kids a lot. And I'm sure that's something that we're all gravitating towards in this moment. To hug our kids, to pat them on the back, to ruffle their hair, to whisper bad jokes in their ears, right? To make sure we tell them good night and goodbye and hello. All those tiny moments. I try to anchor myself in those transitions. And I think hugs are so important because they help complete the stress response cycle. And if you want to read more about that, I suggest the book Burnout. I think hugs are anchors in a very digital world. And right now, if you pick up your phone at all or listen to the TV or the radio, there is a tsunami of information that's changing all the time, and it's trying to get you swept away in it. So use hugs to your people as an anchor. That's what I do. And I turn off the news often. I don't turn off social media enough, but that's one of my goals this summer, again. So flowers, hugs. The other thing I do in times like this, and it's been easier to do since I'm sick, is to make sure I'm going to bed at the right time to get enough sleep. The world feels so much darker when you're staying up at night and you're the only one awake. Not getting good sleep makes things seem worse. So treat yourself kindly and make sure you're getting enough sleep. Encourage your kids to get enough sleep. Turn off the Wi-Fi, whatever it takes. Connect with actual people, right? And as someone that's in an isolation period and not connecting with physical people, reaching out over text message and FaceTiming people has been really important. We need to know that, like I said with the flowers, we're part of something bigger. We need to know that we still belong to each other, even more now. That I would use my body if I saw your child running into the street. I would stop a stranger's kid at Trader Joe's from running out of the store, right? We belong to each other. One of the actions we can take that we belong to each other that I did this week that I encourage anyone who still has kids actively in school for this school year go do is I emailed my kids' teachers and I told them thank you for showing up again after another school shooting. And then I wrote some more postcards because I love sending postcards in the mail to tell people that I love them and how important they are. And we can practice solving problems more with our kids, right? That when conflict arises in our own home, we can slow down enough and help our kids feel listened to, and we can hear their problems. We can name and notice their feelings. We can work through those social skills and make sure that we're practicing them slowly at home. But I can't practice slow social skills if I'm not doing those other things right now, like sleep and taking photos of flowers. Just to be honest, right? If I'm not taking care of myself, I'm not going to be able to slow down enough to problem solve with my kids. There's a lot of resources out there about ways to talk to your kids, and I'll have some of those links in the show notes. I'm sure by now you've probably talked to your kids, or your kids have Googled it, or maybe your kids are too small to need to know, which is important to know too. Not every kid needs to know right now unless you think they're going to overhear it somewhere else. And then you should probably talk to them first. But be gentle and tender with yourself this weekend. Enjoy your family. For your self-care, I think that maybe just writing a list on a piece of paper of the ideas that ground you. Like, what are your go-to activities? And if you want to share with them on Instagram with me, I would love to know what your 4 go-to things are, right? I've shared mine. Flowers, hugs, sleep, and community. Those are my 4 go-to. What are yours? But make a list. Write it down so that when the tsunami is coming, when you hear a new news update or just your normal kids' lives, you have a resource that you've made for you. And for your family fun idea, I think you should all make ice cream sundaes this weekend and be so full of life that you have stubborn gladness and joy exploding out of you, that you take time to tell the worst jokes, that you run through sprinklers, that you stay up late, that you do all the things that kick off summer in such a vibrant way that it remembers all those we've lost for Memorial Day and then all the recent tragedies too. Maybe the other family fun idea is to pick a family theme song so that on days when you're feeling swept away, you can play a song as a family or text some song lyrics, and that your family knows that you're connected and strong together. Okay. You're exactly the right mom for your moment, for this moment. You're exactly the right mom for your kids, and I am so dang glad that you're alive here with me today. Now, if you think this podcast would help someone, please text it to 3 friends or share it on Instagram. We're building a community here of moms that keep calm and mother on together. And we anchor ourselves in connection, play, and sustainable self-care. I'm so glad you're here. Bye, everyone.